Hello, I'm Bezakos, but you can call me Nick. I'm 20 years old and I live in Greece. My first encounter with music was at a very young age. When me and my brother were little, our aunt, the one I've written songs about, used to sing for us. A few years later, at age 6, my mother took me to a piano teacher and left me there to see if I liked it, which obviously turned out with me loving it. After playing for 14 years, I realized I have a soft spot for classical music, which I also listened to for many years. Wasn't listening to any other artists, just only Chopin and Beethoven and all the big ones. Anyway, I also tried to experiment with drums, which was a failure because I didn't like them at all. So I gave up on them after like 3 years. So after years, I would be having these melodies in my head that I would record with my piano's recorder, which sucks because it only records like one melody, and when you record a new one, it deletes the previous one. So all these melodies I used to write, I just forgot them after a few months. After losing my grandma, I also started losing my interest in music for years. So sometime in September 2021, I started having again very strong urge to compose. So I started looking for composing softwares, and that's when I found Flat. After that, I literally have been composing every single day. While doing that, I also started writing lyrics, which are kinda bad. So if you're reading them, thank you. Because I used to think that I'm gonna become a singer. I still do, but not as much. Anyway, my story with music is a bit chaotic as you can tell, but it's what kept me going. After being through a very difficult phase and looking back now, if I hadn't written songs about it, I would have been probably much more miserable. Music has saved me more than once, so if you're listening, if you're going a very difficult situation like I was, you should write about it. Personally, it helped me a lot. It helped me see how I used to feel, and even though it looked stupid, if you read back now that it's been like a year since I started writing, it really shows how you used to feel, and it helps you heal and feel better, and maybe grow as a person. It will help you understand what you were going through, how it made you feel, how you have become better, or how you need to work on yourself to become better. I joined Flat around September 2021. I started sharing my first pieces with music around mid 2022 though. I wasn't very confident with my music, so for a long time, I would just hide it from everyone. To this day, only people from online know that I make music. My parents, my brother, they barely know anything. You know as much as I do. I don't know how I wrote that song, but I know I used to have so many melodies like 2 weeks prior to the announcement. And when you guys announced the challenge, it just started writing like crazy. I spent 7 hours staring at the screen, placing notes, deleting notes. I didn't know what I was doing, but I know I had so many melodies that I wanted to save so I wouldn't lose them. And even though I didn't even let it one day just to see if I actually like it, I finished in 7 hours, came back 2 hours later, I saw that I loved it, and I literally published it without even revising it to see if I have mistakes, if I have made something dumb in it. I just knew I just wanted to share it. I loved it. So, what I did to write the piece, I was trying to follow images I had in my head. So when I started, I wanted a melody that conveyed stillness, like nothing interesting happening at the time. Because when the anomaly exploded, before that, there was nothing in the universe. It was like black, scientists say. So after I finished writing the introduction, I just knew what I wanted to do with it. I started writing like crazy. I finished writing the song in about 3 hours, and then I was just polishing for another 4 hours because, as I said, my train of thought is chaotic and my melodies didn't make sense at first. And then after hours of squeezing my brain for ideas, I finished, I published it. I was terrified of what people would think of my song, which is bad because if you write for others, then your song is not gonna sound okay, and you'll end up hating it if someone says something bad to you. Somehow, it's not like I think too much of me, but I just knew that the song would do well. I didn't really think it would win, but I was so proud I had convinced myself that, that like I would probably get top 3. Later on, I suppressed the feeling because I didn't want to expect too much when the announcement comes out and said that I didn't win. But to my surprise, I won, and I was so happy. I literally started screaming, but not too loudly because it was 4 a.m. when I read it. Man, I was so happy. I've never won a challenge before, so winning that one really made me happy and become less skeptical of how good I am with composing. So, to the ones who are participating in the challenges, just if you're gonna write to win or to please others, just don't write at all. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to like what you're writing, and you need to take time, because I might have done it quickly. I might have finished a song that was quickly made, but that was a once in a many times situation. I don't think I'll ever write as fast as I did this song. So make music that you know you like, and trust yourself to make something that will do well. Do not ask yourself to make the best melody you've ever made. You're just gonna put yourself in a creative block as soon as you start. Try to write down if you find your train of thought chaotic. Try to make like a poem, a book, I don't know, whatever works for you. Like vent in your diary. As long as you know how you feel, you can write it down, you can look back at it later, and you'll see how you feel, you see what you want to do with your song, and you'll get ideas as soon as you read it. I do that sometimes. I write small texts or small paragraphs of what I want to compose, and then I read back and I start writing on flat just to see how it sounds. Sometimes it sucks, sometimes I love it, sometimes I just want to throw my laptop off the window. It just depends on the melody, I guess. Lastly, just don't hurry to publish it. Don't hurry to show others what you've written, because you might think it sounds good at the time, but it might be rushed, it might be unfinished, it might need more detail, it might need fixing. You never know. It's best if you first know that you love it yourself and then publish it and let others hear it. Because if you don't like it, probably no one else will. You need to trust yourself to make your song successful, not others. Anyway, I just think that if you're honest with yourself, it will show in your music. You will do much better if you just let yourself do the work and trust yourself. Thank you for listening to me. I just love Flat. I wish it had more attention, so I hope it one day blows up, it becomes famous, because there are so many good artists in Flat, and the app itself is so good, it's so easy to use, and I had no experience with composing before that, and it helped me write my ideas without any problems. So thank you for having this amazing app, and thank you for listening to me. Have a good day.